Hello everyone and welcome to SplitSecond. My name is Sequeira and I'll be taking you through today's match. Before starting, we at SplitSecond want to thank everyone for your constant support and suggestions on our social media. You can continue to support us by sharing and liking this video, subscribing if you haven't yet, by becoming a patron, or simply by not skipping the ads on our videos. Due to the current global pandemic, we are back to self-quarantining and recording our matches digitally. This week, we are playing with all new commanders from Commander Legends. I'm playing my brew for a grindy Jeska Rograkh partnership. Brandão is playing a stormy Krark Sakashima of 1,000 faces. David is playing his list for a staxy Liesa, and Baal is playing the Hermit Druid's Infinite Turns Obeka. David won the dice and was forced to mulligan down to 6. This is fine since his hand is pretty nice. Bloodstained Mire can get him a scrubland which he can use to either turn 1 that Serra Ascendant or hose us with Deafening Silence. He also has Lotus Petal for ramp, which could help him cast Bloodchief's Ascension for an early trigger. Curse Totem stops Baal from using Obeka efficiently. He sends Deadly Relic to the bottom of his library. Next up, Baal also mulligan down to 6. His hand is pretty nice. He has Command Tower and Blood Crypt to cover most of his colors, with Grim Monolith to push his mana. Vampiric Tutor can find him anything he needs, while Warrior's Oath is an extra turn on Obeka, or more if he finds an Underworld Breach. Unsubstantiate can be used for interaction or to abuse stuff like Dockside Extortionist. Finally, Baal sent Chain of Vapor to the bottom of his library. My hand isn't as exciting. I kept 4 lands in Arid Mesa, Madblind Mountain, and Gemstone Caverns, which will ramp me up 1 turn. I chose this hand because I expect David to slow the table down, giving me time to accrue value with Sword of Fire and Ice, Captain Lionary Storm, and Dire Fleet Daredevil, while Jeska can be used to control the table if necessary. Finally, Luis has a nice hand as well. He has 2 islands and he can use Jeweled Lotus to get an early Krark into Sakashima thanks to Mox Amber. Dockside Extortionist might just be what Luis needs to cast and maybe copy Capture of Jingzhou and start gaining more and more extra turns from there. Disrupt does just that, plus the copies and bouncing potential can net Luis more cards with Krark and Sakashima. We hope you're excited cause this is a good game. I have a pregame action in Gemstone Caverns. D-table boos, but I otherwise exile Arid Mesa, mostly because there's 2 Opposition Thieves and 1 Aven Mind Sensor on this table. David starts off by playing and cracking a Bloodstained Mire for a scrubland. He scoffs at my gemstone start as he plays a Serra Ascendant and, not satisfied, a Lotus Petal into a Bloodchief Ascension. Our life totals start looking pretty small as he passes. Baal plays a Command Tower and lets me get to it. Since I don't top deck anything relevant, I just play Madblind Mountain and let Luis do something hotter. Luis goes for the lukewarm approach as he plays an island and casts Mox Amber just in case someone gets a Rule of Law effect out or wheels. David top decks and plays a Flooded Strand. This allows him to crack it for an untapped Godless Shrine, provoking my Blood Moon. Just kidding, I'm not going to Moon and get soloed by the Ascendant. David then casts Curse Totem, which locks Baal out of his Obeka game plan for now. He then attacks Baal since the deck famously plays ad nauseum. The Ascension gets its first trigger. Baal plays an untapped Blood Crypt. He casts Fellwar Stone, ramping up slightly and moves to end step. Because of his life loss from the Blood Crypt, the Ascension gets the second trigger. David is ever closer to annoying all of us even harder. On my turn, I play a mountain and cast Captain Lionary Storm. I attack David with her just so I can delay that ascension a bit. She gives me a treasure. On my second main phase, I decide to cast my little kobold partner, Rograkh, mostly to circumvent Rule of Law effects as well. I pass to Luis. Luis plays an island and then casts the first Jeweled Lotus on the channel. He sacrifices it for triple red and casts Krark. This allows him to use the Mox Amber and cast Sakashima as well, which copies Krark. 2 commanders in 1 turn. He passes to David with some pretty big ideas for his next round. David keeps hitting the land top decks, this time around a Marsh Flats. He tests the waters as he casts Deafening Silence. The social stack opens up for 3 players groaning, but the spell still resolves. Feeling like he has Baal under control, David sends the Ascendant flying straight at Luis's face. He moves to end step, and before Bloodchief Ascension gets its third counter, Baal casts a Vampiric Tutor for a Thassa's Oracle, looking for a way out of this increasingly staxy game. Bloodchief Ascension is now online. Untapped and ready, Baal casts Grim Monolith, missing a land drop as he passes to me. On my turn, I consider killing both Krarks with Jeska, but feel safe due to Deafening Silence. So instead, I play Ancient Tomb and cast Sword of Fire and Ice. I equip Rograkh with it and attack David with my commander, while Captain goes at Baal. After all, commander damage feels like my best shot to take out David. I draw 1 and kill Sakashima, further increasing its commander tax. Bloodchief Ascension triggers. With that, I pass to Luis. Luis is tired of seeing this game spiral out of control. He casts Dockside Extortionist for 8 treasures, since I don't want to part with mine. He then plays an island and casts Capture of Jingzhou. I now realize I might have messed up. Krark triggers and Luis gets to copy the extra turn spell. 2 extra turns for 5 mana. Narset who? Bloodchief Ascension gives David some more extra life. Luis then attacks David with his commander as well. He hopes to at least get him below the Serra Ascendant threshold or keep him close enough that the rest of us can get it done. He passes to himself because of Deafening Silence. During his first extra turn, Luis plays a Sculling Tarn, which he cracks for a Mystic Sanctuary and gleefully recovers the Capture of Jingzhou to the top of his library. The Ascension triggers while I wonder if I should have just cast Jeska. Luis then recasts Sakashima to copy Krark and attacks David yet again, passing to himself. And now, while Luis is mimicking David's last game, we'll do a short break to announce the winners of our 6K subscribers giveaway. First up, from our subscribers with #giveaway, the winner is Adam Barcelos. Congratulations! And now for our patrons giveaway, with a special thanks for all your support, the winner is Illegal. Congratulations! We also want to thank our LGS Arena Porto for providing these cool cards you're about to receive and their constant support to our channel and community. Be mindful that during these harsh times, we should try to help our local game stores as much as we can if we want to have a place to play after everything has healed. Thank you all, and now it's time to get back to Luis and to something completely convoluted. He then plays an island and casts Capture of Jingzhou. Krark copies it, which terrifies us, and Sakashima returns it to his hand. This means he gets 1 extra turn. Because this is non-deterministic, we start fearing we might just lose to bad luck, or a nexus of luck. Luis attacks David with everything, and David's life total is actually starting to appear reachable. He passes to himself yet again, and our fate is in the hands of coin flips. Luis plays a mountain before he recasts the capture. Krark sends it to his hand, and so does Sakashima. We're free. Because of Deafening Silence, Luis can't try his luck again this turn. He attacks the Stax player for good measure, not at all pleased with this outcome. David takes it with pride before saying, "Can I play?" Luis passes. David starts his turn cracking Marsh Flats for a Plains. He plays Ancient Tomb and casts Smothering Tide. Because my Kobold has Menace, David chooses to attack Luis and get some extra juicy life points from Serra Ascendant before it gets turned into a 1/1. He moves to his end step and Baal casts a Mystical Tutor. Luis actually victoriously states "finally" as he casts Disrupt, targeting the tutor. Krark makes a copy of it while Sakashima sends it to Luis's hand. Baal pays attacks from Disrupt with Grim Monolith, while Luis draws 1 from Disrupt and Smothering Tide triggers. Baal searches for Demonic Consultation and loses life to the Ascension. Seeing how tight the game is and not getting a land drop, Baal decides to try and commit to the plan. He does not pay for Tithe. He casts Thassa's Oracle and, holding priority with a trigger on the stack, casts Demonic Consultation. Our fate hinges on Luis's heads or tails skills as he casts Disrupt to try and counter that consultation. He actually gets to copy it twice, but the consultation gets countered, so the 2 additional copies fizzle. Luis draws 1, Baal misses his consultation window, and the Ascension makes David extra healthy. Baal finds a windfall with Thassa's Oracle that he plans to play next turn despite the Tithe. He then passes to me, not at all excited by the outcome. It's my turn. I don't pay for the Tithe and begin my turn by attacking David with my Kobold Fella and Luis with the Captain. The sword triggers and I kill Sakashima once again, triggering the Ascension as I draw 1 and David gets another treasure. I play a mountain. I end up casting Dockside Extortionist still without a well-defined plan. David sacrifices his treasures. I get 10 treasures in total like a real pirate. I end up casting Imperial Recruiter, initially considering Magus of the Moon, but David has Smothering Tithe on his side, so I go for a value engine, Grenzo. I cast him and I cast Jeska, Thrice Reborn, with 2 counters on her. I equip Grenzo with the sword just in case Luis has Deflecting SWAT, and I use Jeska to kill Luis's remaining board and ping Baal, triggering the Ascension twice for the vid. Because of the Deafening Silence, I am forced to pass. Luis is not in a good position. Smothering Tithe gives David a new treasure. The Z player casts Krark and wonders about capture. He ends up misplaying as he casts Gitaxian Probe, hoping to copy it twice but failing because of a bad coin flip. Luis wants to do it again, but Deafening Silence looks at him sideways. He passes the turn, looking at my sword. David casts Liesa. Joy. He attacks me with the Serra Ascendant after wondering just how annoying Grenzo's goading will be, and I meekly accept the pummeling. He passes to Baal. We're getting really low on life and options. Baal does not pay for Smothering Tithe, and despite giving a bunch of cards to David, he goes with his plan to cast Windfall, wondering if Luis has counter magic. Luis does not, and as he discards 5, he is pushed to exactly 1 life. Because of Liesa and Bloodchief Ascension, Luis is now unable to cast spells or even crack a fetch. David actually discards an Alms Collector, which he was fortunately short on mana to cast and wreck all of us with it. We all draw 5 and get punished by David's Ascension, as his life total raises to the 70s and he gets 14 treasures. That's right, Luis paid for one. Baal plays a Morphic Pool and passes to me. This seems like a crucial turn. I let David get another treasure. What's one more at this point? He's a true booty collector. I play a mountain and re-equip Rograkh with the sword, since he has Menace as well. I go to combat and send Landry Storm, the Little Kobold, and Imperial Recruiter at David, while Grenzo and Dockside go for Baal. Landry Storm is actually a bait, since she can kill Liesa. I get another treasure. David sees through my ruse and blocks the Recruiter, while Baal blocks Grenzo. All triggers go to the stack, and I choose to go the Serra Ascendant and exile 1 from Baal's and David's libraries, while the sword trigger hits David's commander, just in case. I get a Chain of Vapor from Baal and a Ghostly Prison from David. Seeing the Chain of Vapor, I see a way out and cast it on the Deafening Silence, triggering Liesa. Baal, however, is not keen on this idea. I have a lot of cards and mana at my disposal, and he believes I might win if the spell resolves. Because of that, he casts Swan Song on his own Chain of Vapor, losing life from Liesa and the Ascension, while giving me a bird token. I sigh, losing one of my windows of opportunity, but gaining a blocker for the 5/5 Angel. I end my turn by casting a Tectonic Giant, which can help me dig a little deeper. Luis untaps, sighs as he does not let David get another treasure, plays an island, and passes. David plays Command Tower. He is forced to attack Baal with the Ascendant, leaving him also at 1 life. Holy crap. He chooses to stay his commander since he's basically dueling me. Baal draws but does not pay for the tithe. He's more interested in untapping his monolith as he passes to me. I start my turn with combat. I send my little Kobold Lord, Landry Storm, Tectonic Giant, and the bird token all to David, looking to get stuff done with Grenzo. The giant triggers and exiles Goblin Matron and another shiny way out, Ugin the Ineffable. I choose to be able to cast Ugin. Pirate Lady gives me another treasure token. David then flashes in an Aven Mind Sensor. He blocks Landry Storm with it and the Tectonic Giant with Liesa. I lose 2 creatures, triggering Ascension twice while the Mind Sensor dies. Sword of Fire and Ice kills Liesa and draws me a card, giving the Stax player another treasure. Grenzo goads the Ascendant and exiles 1 from David's top of the library, a Felwar Stone. I cast the Ugin and it resolves. I use it to destroy the Deafening Silence and it also resolves. I cast Mox Ember followed by Jeska's Will, looking for a way to protect myself from David's potential interaction. I choose both modes, gaining 5 mana from Luis's hand and exiling 3 from the top while losing life for the Ascension. I don't find protection. I cast a free Codex Shredder from my hand and 2 free Felwar Stones, 1 mine and 1 from David. Then I cast Cloudstone Curio, hoping there's no interaction. I cast a Goblin Recruiter to trigger the Curio the first time and to try and bounce the Dockside Extortionist. David kills my heart as he taps mana to respond, but actually it's an opposition agent which only exiles all goblins from my library. Once Dockside is in my hand, I can win the game. What I do is bounce Rograkh with Dockside and vice versa, making infinite treasures. After having infinite mana, each time Dockside Extortionist enters the battlefield, I bounce Rograkh, but replace the changing of zones and send the little kobold to the command zone instead. I cast him from there, return Dockside to hand, and rinse and repeat enough times that Jeska will be able to enter the battlefield with enough loyalty counters to kill all 3 opponents. Thank you for joining us for today's matches, everyone. We hope you guys enjoyed this game featuring new commanders, new ideas, and a lot of cool new cards. We will be playing another group of 4 new legendaries from this set next week. We'd like to start the credits by thanking our current patrons and especially Izanagi, Stefan, TJ Rapp, Mike Purr, Ajimo, Iglegal, Heated Chill, Drunken Housecat, and LL Coolrat, our stack breaker. If you want to go through other Commander adventures, click one of the videos on the right. If you want to talk with us about our games or other EDH related matters, join us on Discord. Come with us again next week for a new set of commanders and more decisive plays. See you all then!